Barakah Halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Sirach chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Okay, this is gonna be an in the news edition from shtfplan.com, and we're just gonna scroll through, click, and highlight how Babylon the Great is falling. It's falling, man. Abaratazah, we're gonna get that in the book of Isaiah 24:10. First article, it says, truckers feel the weight of diesel prices as shortages loom. Pilot Flying J and Love said there are diesel supply issues and the companies are monitoring the situation closely. As it worsens and the supply of diesel fuel dwindles, the cost to purchase that fuel rises and the impact is being felt on truckers all across the country. This nation's food supply and much of the service industry hinge on truckers' ability to deliver goods. Several trade publications say diesel supplies on the East Coast are now at the lowest in almost 20 years. Okay, I've seen fuel prices when I started out $1 something a gallon, and we were squalling. Let's get that word scrawling quickly. Squalling, crying noisily or continuously, like, sighing about it, complaining about it, even back then. Now $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 a gallon is ludicrous. It's out of hand. It's going to drive the trucking industry out, said Bart Costy, who has been a truck driver for decades. Some have even been warning of diesel rationing beginning as early as summer for areas such as the East Coast. Diesel prices and shortages will impact every single aspect of everyone's daily lives. Farmers need diesel fuel to harvest and even get the land ready for planting. A rise in prices will result in a rise in the cost of food. Everything is going to be more costly, and if fuel rationing begins, you can expect the food supply shortages we are already experiencing to expand as truckers have to cut back on how much they can drive their trucks because they simply cannot fuel them. Okay, this commodity fuels much of the economy, including big rig trucks, farm equipment, and industrial machinery. Prices hit a record $5.56 per gallon in the U.S., up 76.5% from a year ago. Ooh. All right, it's lovely, man. It's lovely, okay? We like to see Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai moving on this place, man. Okay? You got the baby formula shortage going on, which is manufactured, of course. We know that it's manufactured. It says, this is the next article. Food prices continue to soar with no end in sight. Food prices are continuing to go up, and there is no reprieve in sight. Food banks and store shelves are beginning to empty further as supplies dwindle and the costs soar. Everything going wrong with the food supply. Okay, it says the mainstream media continues to put most of the blame on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. However, anyone paying attention could see this coming long before that and may have even noticed their own grocery store shelves slowly having fewer items on them. According to the New York Times, global forces such as supply chain disruptions, severe weather, energy costs, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine have contributed to rising inflation rates that have spooked stock market investors and put President Biden's administration on the defensive. Okay. It says the pressure on the public is mounting. It is felt most directly by shoppers during their weekly runs to grocery stores, where some items that used to be plentiful have been missing for months and where prices for produce, meat, and eggs remain stubbornly high. if things continue, we could see people in the United States rioting over inability to feed their children. Okay? And our says, we're going to grab that. This is biblical prophecy playing out, and it's beautiful. So I was out there, so many scriptures come to mind. It says prices for other necessities such as toilet paper and personal hygiene products are also rising. High fuel costs and a shortage of diesel fuel are also contributing to the rising cost of food. It will not take much for this entire food supply system to come crashing down. Okay, so you're gonna have universal basic income come out of this, where the government is giving everybody, starts rationing out a certain amount, further getting everybody to depend on them, a certain amount of money in food. Okay, pretty much comps. Okay, to get everybody even more dependent on them to where they could bring in an RFID microchip to mark of the beast. You see? And our rights is out, we're going to get that in this lesson as well. So, let's see if there's any more left. So, let's go to the scriptures in the book of 2nd Esdras. Because this is a time that you have to listen to the prophecy and follow prophecy. Okay? This is the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 5. 2nd Esdras chapter 5. Bear with me. We'll pull it up on here, Salakia. Storehouses. Yeah, man, because we're living in the times of prophecy speaking. The book of the dead, Egyptology, the Egyptologists don't got the answer. The holy scriptures, including the holy apocrypha, okay, which apocrypha means to be hidden or sent away, has the answers, man. And you're gonna get that starting with apostles and elders, great millstone on down, man. 2nd Esdras 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, the sown places, the crops, okay, these crops the farmers are being paid off by the government, and they're doing videos on it. They're being paid off by the government, okay, to destroy the crops, man. You see? It says, so destroying their crops, and then you have droughts, okay, to where farmers are having to destroy one crop for another crop to survive, man. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay? The full storehouses in Kroger, Walmart, Tom Thumb, Whole Foods, shall suddenly be found empty. These stores only got a day or two worth of goods stored in them, man. And think about, look at Black Friday. Look at the beginning of the C19, man. How quick the store shelves were empty, man. It's gonna lead to violence. We're living in beautiful times, man. Hey, may Yahweh Shem Yahushua continue to break this place down. Let's get this in the book of Isaiah 55:11. Isaiah chapter 55 verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. It shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Yahweh Shem Yahushua, his word has been sent forth. He's proclaimed plagues to be sent upon this place, man. Okay? The prophecy states, 2nd Esdras 15:5, Behold, said Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay? So these things have been pronounced against the world. Okay, and there, and as the scriptures say, his word is not going to return unto him void. It shall accomplish that which he pleases. Okay, from there we're going to jump to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, or excuse me, 12, and said Ezekiel 2, excuse me, 2 and 5. It says, and they, whether they, well, I started verse 3, and he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the nation, to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that hath rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, the Most High God, man. Okay. And you and the children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are stiff-hearted, you are rebellious, man. Okay, you buck up against the Lord and his prophets, and you, as you've always done, 2/3 of our people, man. It says, and they, whether they will hear, and when we say 2/3, we're alluding to the book of Zechariah, the 14th chapter, man. 2/3 are going to be cut off and perish in the coming times, man. And thus as it is written, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. Yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them. Okay, so we're sent to speak unto our people. Okay, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whether they hear or forbear, man, whether they get it or they don't. You see, blood is off our hands. Ezekiel the 3rd chapter. Yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them. So when these things start to hit, because our people love to scoff, Proverbs 1 and the Proverbs 1 and around 20 goes into that. If scorners delight in their scorn, these niggas, who are these niggas? These niggas don't know what they talking about. Okay, well, when these prophecies are at the door, let's get there in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains can pass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. You see, the plagues draw nigh, they're near, okay, and are not slack. The 2022, the year to turn up. Everything is turning up, man, and you see it. It's all like prophecy is hitting so quick now. It's like, you know, whoa, like Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is moving on this place, man. He's moving. He's ready to get this. He's ready to do away with this place, man. But it's a domino effect. He's turning up the notch here. This is gonna lead to this, to that, to this. Okay. So going back from there, we're gonna jump to the book of we can go into some more articles. Rationing is coming. Food rationing, gas rationing, good rationing is coming, man. All right. Let's continue on satlplan.com. It says, you got talks of the sea thing popping back up. You know, showing his face again, and we knew that the prophets starting from the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone on down. Okay. All right. So this is back from satlplan.com. Grid operators warn the U.S. of electricity shortages. Power grid operators have begun to sound the alarm about a shortage of electricity in the United States as the ruling class pushes for renewable energy. This issue is a concern throughout the entire country as many traditional and nuclear power plants are being retired. The potential for blackouts is huge as many power companies begin to switch to green energy sources instead of electricity. I'm concerned about it, MISO Chief Executive John Bear told the Wall Street Journal. As we move forward, we need to know that when you put a solar panel or a wind turbine up, it's not the same as a thermal resource. Many traditional nuclear power plants are being retired to make way for renewable sources of energy, but the plants are going offline faster than renewable energy and battery storage can keep up. It is not just a switch to renewable energy that poses a problem either. Extreme heat and wildfires over the summer could lead to a shortage of energy in California, the state's grid operator told WSJ. Okay, and California is a huge state, man. The Midwest could face similar issues with MISO warning of capacity shortages that could lead to outages. Okay. And not just, you know what I'm saying that California is a huge state, but hey, wherever these shortages hit, it's gonna be rioting and just chaos and just, you know, carnage going on. The Midwest could face similar issues with MISO warning of capacity shortages that could lead to outages. Okay. So it's all going bad. The risk of outages is heightened this summer with supply chain issues and inflation slowing the pace. Developers can get the components needed to build renewable energy farms. Okay, which this is all a part of the squeeze, man. Pressure from above, pressure from below, Hegelian dialectic, create a problem, which is from the elites. Okay, the rich international banking families that rule the world. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, these various wicked families that rule the world, Job 9:24. Edomites, so-called white people, man. And they are at the top of Esau, the Edomites. Okay? Hegelian dialectic, create a problem, get a reaction out of the people, offer a solution. And it leads to this next article from NASDAQ, NASDAQ.com, and the title is MasterCard allows customers to pay at checkout with a wave of the hand. Okay, on Tuesday, let's see. It says as if biometric payments weren't controversial enough, this one wants you to work up the gall to wave at the checkout, which the chip. The most controversial thing is that RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16, man. That's the most controversial thing, man. So it's already happening in Sweden, man, where people are paying with their hand, you know, and unlocking the door. Okay. It says that as if biometric payments weren't controversial enough, this one, okay, yada, yada, yada. On Tuesday, MasterCard launched a pilot payments program that lets customers pay in stores by showing the palm of their hand or their face. And see, it's gradualism, okay? Because an Esau Edom is a devil deceiver, man, because the technology is already out there where people are paying with their hand, man. So this man is completely the devil, completely just a deceiver, you see? It says MasterCard's Wave to Pay program will launch this week at 5 supermarkets in Brazil ran by Sao Paulo-based St. Marsh. Using facial recognition software from Japan's NEC, Brazil's PayFace, and California's Pop ID, the service requires customers to voluntarily enroll, but nevertheless enters an emerging segment fraught with concerns about regulation and consumer rights. And this is where everything is leading to digital buying and selling with the hand. As it mentions, let's get this. According to Juniper Research, the number of people using facial recognition technology to make a payment will grow to 1.4 billion by 2025, more than twice as 671 million from 2020. At the same time, the adoption of biometric-based payments has faced notable resistance and even major exits. Okay, you have Amazon One with the palm print, and with the Amazon Go, and paying with your hand, what they announcing, paying with your as it, you know, your palm now, man. Okay. So this is gradualism. That's what Esau deals with, gradualism. Okay, pay with your fingerprint for convenience. Now pay with your palm. And what's next? Paying with that chip, man. The RFID microchip, man, which is the mark of the beast, man. You got that digital wearable technology, man. You're paying with a wristwatch, your Apple Watch, or Samsung Watch. You see, so Esau gradually worsening, and then pretty much all credit cards nowadays have that chip, that chip in them, man, to where you tap to pay. And just speaking of, at my job, at you know, my second job, okay, you when you tap the concessions, you know, the concession stand or the machine, it doesn't, like, it'll say swipe or tap to pay, and then if your card has that, you know, that swipe, well, excuse me, let me gather my thoughts. Pretty much it's forcing you, the machine forces you to just tap. You know what I'm saying? It forces you to tap, because your card, like, I have a card that has the chip in it, okay, but it doesn't have that tap to pay option, and then when I go to swipe, it just gets an error. Continuing on, so let's get that in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, that he is going into the elites, those that rule the world right now, that have control of the resources, and what they say goes. They're the puppet, you know, the ones that control the puppets, which are the lower level elites, the politicians, those that they set up to pass their legislation. Okay. So on and so forth, to receive a mark, a charagma, a cutting into the flesh, an imprinted mark, okay, the implantable RFID microchip in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Okay, you're not gonna be able to buy and sell in this digital system without being having that RFID microchip, being connected into the Internet of Bodies. Okay, because you have smart homes, smart watches, smart fridges, and the last thing that they want to be so-called smart, according to his science, which the scriptures speak about, science falsely so-called, okay, is you. They want you to be a part of their anti-Messiah satanic system, man, to where they have full control, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, and this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Let's see, we'll start at 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. You're gonna have different you're gonna have events that cause people to just band together, okay, and go against each other. A big one is gonna be that the food shortages, man. It's gonna be survival of the fittest, man. Family against family, neighbor against neighbor, okay, and swords in their hands for their weapons, okay, the gat, the gun, a knife, the golf, the golf club. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, okay, speech and speech calling for an uprising, okay, for revolting and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Invading is going to come via the lack of bread and for great tribulation, which we're going to get, Lord willing. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. The politicians are not going to be regarded. The Constitution of the U.S. is not going to be regarded. The president is not going to be regarded, what he has to say. No. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. It's going to be lawlessness. Free for all, man. You know, like on Call of Duty, a free for all. A bloodbath. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because order out of chaos is going to be brought in. Order out of chaos, which is all manufactured by the elites that are sitting behind closed doors, that are in secret councils, on planning on how can we bring more chaos, how can we make the people revolt. Which a good way is by that famine, man, by the money, cutting off the money supply, okay, food and money not being able to pay for things. That makes people buck up, that makes people go crazy. It says, so from that they're gonna bring in checkpoints and troops, and that's gonna lead to food rationing, where people are bucking up against the troops, okay, because of the lack of bread. Verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Cities are going to be troubled. They're going to become war zones. That's the best way to put it. The houses shall be destroyed. They're going to be ransacked, invaded. It says, and men shall be afraid. Men are going to be afraid of the things that are coming on the earth. Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 and 5. Isaiah 19. Let's get that. Isaiah chapter 19 and Isaiah 19 and 16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and in Egypt is the new America, man, or America is the new Egypt. Revelation 11 and 8. This place is spiritually Sodom in Egypt, where they X'd out our Lord. They X'd out his image. This is the anti-Messiah system. They X'd out his way, the truth, the true images, the truth of the scriptures is been X'd out. Okay, Yahweh Shai and the Most High, Yahweh being so-called black men. Okay, the righteousness has been X'd out, and they've set up a perverse spirit. A perverse spirit has been mingled here. It says, and he shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Okay, this place is going to be in fear, in complete and great fear from the things that are going to come on the earth, man. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Scriptures say at that time shall friends fight against one another like enemies. Okay? Friends are going to fight against one another like enemies. Next door neighbor that you may have grew up with. Okay? You know, your best friend, you know he got some extra stuff stored up. You're gonna visit him. That's to the world. But those of the body of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we're going to be provided for. The Lord said his servant shall eat. Okay? But you preppers, okay, y'all are going to be visited, man, for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So hopefully this has been an edifying lesson called Halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Of honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.